I'm gonna do a big no-no. Little chewing on mic, some ASMR for all the haters. Some good lip smacking, some crunching, some talking with the mouth full. But I don't really care. I was just thinking about negativity, and I was talking to somebody on Twitter about this. I read a study a while back, so I don't know exactly what it was, but it was basically saying if you're in a relationship and that person does something terrible that creates an issue, like abusive, scarring, a big argument. Not necessarily the day-to-day stuff, although that adds up too. And not necessarily beating somebody, but like an argument that is that affects you emotionally. It then takes 7 good acts in the human brain to balance that one negative of a 7 to just hit neutral. So often when we watch media and we're consuming stuff, as I consume, these are wheat crackers, so they're not total junk food, but as we consume this media, we're consuming a lot of negative media. But I'm looking at everything as a whole, I mean, the big picture is the principle. And my mind is really just like that Jocko Willink video. It's like good. One of my friends gets so frustrated with me because something, what he perceives as bad happens, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome because, and it just, my brain is just trained that way. And he's like, of course you think it's good. But anyways, I was watching the fudders, the people all complaining about crypto and the bear market and inflation. And there are a lot of people like begging the government to do something. There's other people saying like, oh, egg prices and wait till the next election and we got to get this and this. Dude, life is right now. You know, waiting around is dumb. And then I see this another crypto guy, he's going to remain nameless, talking about this guy that's attacking crypto in the US, calling all crypto minus Bitcoin a security or whatever, and the SEC is going to go, I don't know exactly. But it's not about Bitcoin. It's not about altcoins. It's not even about the blockchain. There's no such thing. It's all conceptual. The thing that they can't take away, when eventually the people that say Bitcoin will hit zero, yes, Bitcoin will go obsolete and hit zero, and something better will happen. The genie that's out of the bottle that they can never put back is that there's this community of individuals that can now reach out to one another that are sick of the current system and they can do something about it. This idea of converting individuals is ridiculous to me. I've moved away from so many quote-unquote movements because they're always trying to recruit. And the idea of recruiting is ridiculous to me. Recruiting is government propaganda that we were raised with, like you have to recruit. You're not recruiting anybody. Maybe you can sell people based on benefits that they can get from whatever the thing is, the product. Even if the product's you, it could be the video, your content, or the thing that you create. But this whole idea of like, I need everybody, I gotta vote because we need this, or I gotta vote because we need this, or everybody should be like this. Who the F cares? When the people that made CDs came out, they didn't need to ban cassette tapes. CDs were just better. And then MP3s came along, and a lot of people that are making CDs tried to fight and argue, but they eventually won because it's a superior product. And they didn't need to use force. The new thing that's better that everybody likes is never needing to use the force. It's always the old product trying to cling that needs to use force. Eventually, what will happen is digital currencies will be introduced. A bunch of the same people that are followers, you're not going to be able to convert them into non-followers. They want to be submissive little following bitches. Let them be. Ignore them. You don't have to change them. It's even better for you, actually, if you don't, because it's less competition. They're going to jump on whatever they're told to jump on by the elites, or by the people in charge, or the people that like to have power over others. You know, I don't really want to get into the exact things, but there's certain choices that people make that put them into a submissive role. And if they want to continue to make those choices, let them continue to make those choices. There's already people right now that are living off the grid, that are living off the monetary system. They exchange into US dollars or into some, you know, a Forex exchange to deal with people that are still within the system. But their day-to-day life is, you know, living on St. Kitts, using Bitcoin Cash to buy their food, groceries, or whatever. You can get debit cards, and you already use crypto at the gas station. You can use crypto at the restaurants. You can pull it right out of your account. It's all tracked in the blockchain. You can even have secret wallets, and you can wash wallets, and you can put it in through a node and out and into you know, XMR, and keep this stuff secret and anonymous and move it back, and it's all going to compete. Or you got Bitcoin maxis that are like, hey, Bitcoin is the GOAT, and it's like, who cares? Okay, continue to use Bitcoin and chill Bitcoin. What if I want to use Bitcoin Cash? And if people want to use XRP, and you're like, well, it's not a real, it's a digital, you know, it's a digital asset that's controlled, it's just digital fiat. Let them. Who cares? Let these people make bad decisions and just get on with your life. When Bitcoin fails, it could be way after I'm dead. Something better will happen. Something different will come on. Maybe HBAR will go. I like Bitcoin. I think the long term, the electricity aspect of mining is not a weakness. I think it's actually a feature. It's a benefit, not a bug, because it ties it to reality, where the price and the mining fees, as well as the finite amount, sets it up so that based on the reality of how much energy we can get to mine, will adjust the pricing. And then, similar to like El Salvador, they're using Bitcoin as their country's reserve, but the individuals in the country are using Algorand as their day-to-day currency, from my understanding. I haven't been to El Salvador. It might not even exist. It could be a psyop by the government telling me that El Salvador exists. I've never even been there. It just could be metaverse beta for all I know. Put out by, you know, you have to. They might actually use, what is it, SLP, Super Love Potion. I forget the name of the coin in the metaverse. But anyways, what I'm saying is, if Bitcoin fails, blockchain's still there. If blockchain fails, stake of proof is still there. If stake of proof fails, Hashgraph is still there. If all that fails, something new will come out, because people, individuals that have this mindset, have been able to find their community, and that is not going to end. They might start rounding us up, throwing us in cages, putting bullets in the back of our head, digging ditches and throwing us in. But the more they do that, the more pressure they put, the more force they always need to use to escalate the violence, because what they have is obsolete. Just opens people's eyes up. And more people start seeing that. There's all sorts of propaganda out there from all angles, from people trying to win. I'm just going to end it on this because I'm almost home. The Federal Reserve is a corporation. The United States is kind of like a corporation. China is like a corporation. The difference between Coca-Cola advertising and government advertising, like Federal Reserve advertising, is simply voluntary versus forced use. The government pays for their advertising by stealing the funds, and corporations is a government entity, but it's just more kind of like, it's the fake facade of free market capitalism. But real, true free market capitalism, when you're sitting across the table from somebody at dinner and you're negotiating on your pizza toppings, you have to negotiate, and it's a voluntary situation to get the outcome, and then you compromise and you guys figure out what's best for the group. That they can never take away from you. So as I ASMR a couple more chips here before I get home, hang on to these times, hang on to these friendships, support these groups, joke around, have fun, post your memes, network, because instead of necessarily seeing your community as the people you're rubbing shoulders with, which I hope that it is, you need some people physically to touch in the real world and hug and hang out with and communicate with and do stuff with, but the metaverse kind of shows you, or like a video game kind of shows you, that you can have these communities that are connected emotionally through a common cause or principle, and the main support group is the projects or the ideas or the principles behind those. I hope that makes sense, because I know there's a lot of negative people out there, like, where this is going to fail, that's going to fail, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose that. It's out of the bottle, man. Just keep it alive. Open your mouth. Keep speaking the truth. Keep sharing this stuff. The people trying to pass laws, they're trying to push their opinion backed by a gun. And the reason they're trying to do that is because it's their last resort. When somebody's trying to convince you with a gun or by passing a law, it's because their words failed. They couldn't convince you with words that their idea was more beneficial to you. And it could be. You could just be an idiot and not understand. I know plenty of people that are still saying, like, digital currency is a scam. And it's like, I asked them, I said, okay, can I borrow $1,000? And I'm like, let's go to the bank and get it. And they're like, I don't go to the bank. And I was like, well, how do you get it? And they send it everywhere digitally. They buy everything on their credit card. Their paycheck is deposited into their bank account. And then they wire all their payments from their bank account to this things. I mean, some old people are still writing checks. But, I mean, last year, taxation is theft, taxation is theft, taxation. Last year I paid my taxes on a credit card that gave me points back to the U.S. government. It's all done digitally already. Now all we have to do is decentralize that And once it's decentralized, the only people that will be uncentralized will be, one, when you kind of got to pay for stuff that they're forcing you to do within the system. And then the people that don't want to leave. You can't. It was, I don't know if it was Frederick Douglass that said it, or if it was Harriet Tubman, or who it was, but they claim it was Harriet Tubman. They also claim she couldn't read or write, that Frederick Douglass wrote this for her, but he said that she said, I freed 1,000 slaves, and I would have freed 1,000 more had they just known they were slaves. And it's not your job to go behind enemy lines to free people that don't want to be freed, man. It's not. Now, if somebody needs help and they want out and they understand it and they're willing to fight with you, yeah, you can go in. But, you know, I don't know if you've ever been a summer lifeguard and you know somebody. They teach you if somebody's drowning and you go in to save them and they won't calm down and they try to bring you down with you, to let them drown. To don't kill both of you. So, anyways, before I get too morbid, the community is here to stay. I love you guys. I think what I want to do, I'm going to have 2 channels. I'm going to kind of be wishy-washy on Dave Wright the Capitalist, where I kind of talk a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of crypto, maybe some of the investments and stuff that I'm doing, maybe some of the business that I'm running. And then I'll do the philosophy channel. I don't know why I'm filming on my phone right now. I have literally a $600 mic, a mixer, an $1,800 camera, multiple lenses, a tripod. I just got to hook it up to my computer and do these videos. And instead, here I am when I'm sitting in my car eating chips. Because, I don't know, I get in my house, I start doing this stuff, and I don't feel like filming a video. Then I drive and I get bored. And I start thinking, and then I'm like, I can just record this instead of think it and share it later on. So, all right. In closing, I like to do things, and I know this might go up on Dave Wright the Capitalist or whatever, but in case I said anything triggering, I want everybody to know this comes from a place of love. And if we can just sit down for a second, forget about everything I said, take a deep breath. It is a really nice day out. It's beautiful here. I hope it's beautiful wherever you are. If you're in a place of turmoil right now and you need to get out of there and you can hear my voice, my thoughts are with you. I'm going to take a moment and just, you can call it a prayer, you can call it meditation, whatever. But I can feel the good energy in the world. Take a second to feel the good energy. There's a connection. There's an organization to everything that's going on. And you can be part of it. Just let it sink. Let it flow through you. Don't wish and like pray. Like I really dislike when people pray and they're like, God, give me this. To me, it's more of a understanding friendship where you just say to the universe or to God, you say, I understand that there is an organization to what's around me. I'm going to accept that organization. I'm going to be part of that organization, and thank you for welcoming me in. And good things are going to happen because I'm accepting the reality. So, all right. That's a good enough meditation for me. Have a great evening.